Welcome back to Sam Talks Nerdy. Hope we're happy, doing well, dominating life, feeling awesome. Fantastic Four First Steps has finally arrived, marking the return to the big screen in over 10 years. Thanks, Josh Trank. And also the first steps, thank you, into the MCU. This is my review, positives, neutrals, negatives. Let's get into it. My first positive has to go to the Fantastic Four family cast. They killed it, and they're probably the best interpretation of the Fantastic Four we've gotten in live action. The early 2000s cast does come second, though, in my mind. Like some people, I was hesitant about Pedro Pascal playing Reed Richards, but as we got more footage of him in trailers and clips, I started to slowly warm up to the idea of him as Reed, but the movie really sold me on his casting. He captured Reed really well. I can't wait to see him interact with, Doctor Strange, and I guess the new Tony Stark, whoever they get in either Secret Wars or in the revamped MCU. Especially can't wait to see him interact with Doctor Doom. I never doubted Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. She was probably one of the one casts I was really sold upon next to Ebon Moss. That's the thing. And she delivered in this movie. She really captured how goated Sue is. I'm sorry, in my opinion, Sue was like one of the MVP goated Marvel females next to Jean Grey in my mind. I mean, I just love her. I love how she starts the Future Foundation. She gets Mole Man's whole subterranea and acknowledged by the UN. Then her speech where she introduces Franklin to the New Yorkers who are angry. She's definitely one of the best parts of the movie for me. Joseph Quinn is probably the best version of Johnny Storm we've gotten in a while. While I do love Chris Evans' version of Johnny, this one showed us there's more to Johnny than just his celebrityism. Because if you think about Chris Evans, he was just, the hothead, the douche, the guy who was just chasing fame. But while with Joseph Quinn, he's still the hothead, and he still looks for fame, but he's also, he's smart. He's a linguistic expert. He studies languages. I loved his story during this whole movie where he's trying to study Shaw Ball's language to understand her, and then when he does, he communicates with her to appeal to her. That was a really good story for Johnny, because in the other movies he either doesn't do anything or he's just being obnoxious. Ebon Moss as the Thing was one I was really excited to see because I love him in Punisher, I love him in The Bear. So when I saw him cast, I was like, perfect. He is the perfect Thing, and he was definitely, I'm not saying it, amazing in the role. I mean, he didn't really do much in this movie other than just kind of be, a secondary character. He did have a small story, which I hope does get expanded upon in future installments of either the Fantastic Four or in the MCU. And HERBIE, love that dude. I'm glad he's finally in a Fantastic Four movie. He had the best comedy moments. He probably made more of the comedy in this movie than anything else. My positive has to go to both Ralph Ineson and Julia Garner as Galactus and the Silver Surfer, because I was so excited when I heard that we were going to get Galactus, and he wasn't going to be just a giant fart cloud. He was going to actually be Galactus. This is what we were to get on screen, and I was excited. And he looked so cool on screen, and Ralph Ineson was perfectly cast as Galactus. His voice was amazing. He had the right voice for Galactus, and originally I didn't want to see this movie in IMAX to kind of maybe experience Galactus to be a bit bigger, and apparently when he talked, the whole theater would shake and you would vibrate in your seat, but I couldn't really find a good time, so I went to my local theater, which had something called the Grand Screen, and that was good. I do hope we see Galactus again in maybe a Avengers EMA style finale where it's the Fantastic Four and the Avengers and whoever else against Galactus, because I mean, come on, this cannot be the last we see of him. And Julie Gardner, I mean, not once was I watching and I was like, man, I wish we had Norman Rad on here. No, she was awesome, and honestly, I wouldn't mind if she stayed the Silver Surfer in the MCU. Though I will admit, I was surprised we didn't really get a Norman Rad cameo during her whole flashback origin sequence. Moving on to World at 838, it was so cool to watch and look at. I really loved it. The vibes, the visuals, just the technology. I mean, I love the visuals of like during the montage or like the whole, I guess, prepping for Galactus thing and covering, Sue's pregnancy of like, we just get like all these different like little shots on screen. I don't really know the name of it, but I think it was something done in the 60s. I hate to say it, but I kind of don't want them to leave this world and join the MCU proper because just I want to see more of this world. I want to see more. I want to see more of its technology. What do other places look like? Like, what does a integrate like Latveria look like? I even see some of the other villains. Like we got references to like Puppet Master, Mad Thinker, Diablo. I mean, we almost got Red Ghost, but that was cut, which don't get me started on that. But then again, the MCU proper does need them because I mean, we can't have the Avengers, Fireman, the X-Men, and then not have the Fantastic Four. So no, maybe hopefully in the revamped MCU we get a more like stylized world. I just love how serious this movie was. Like there weren't any, serious moments that were quickly, you know, cut or ruined by a forced joke. Like no, this was serious and the comedy felt right when it came in. And plus, there was not a lot of action in this movie. It was more of just them trying to figure out how to stop Galactus. My neutrals. Well, I do appreciate the efficient runtime of just quickly run through the origin, introduce Silver Surfer, set up Galactus, introduce Galactus, prepare for Galactus, fight Galactus, done. I feel like they could benefit from like 10, 15 more minutes of time. Like, at least keep in the Red Ghost stuff. I mean, like getting talent like Malkovich only to axe him for, I can't remember the reason why they axed him. I guess it was to try and keep kind of efficient, but just like, you get Malkovich, show us him in the trailer, and then you're just like, oh yeah, like last second, you're just like, oh yeah, we cut him. I'm just not cool. Not cool. Because like I said, I definitely would love to see some more of the villains we've seen in this, and because and this is a bit of a spoiler, but for the end credits, one of the end credit scenes is sort of like the intro to their in-universe cartoon, and we see some villains like El Diablo and Red Ghost. So I'm just like, could we have gone just like one of those two in a quick opening fight scene or in that montage of the Ted Gilbert show? Because it's like he's talking about like oh yeah, they fought the Red Ghost, and then they show Reed punting a monkey into the river, and they're like the Mad Thinker, but we don't even see the Mad Thinker. Just like we could have benefited from at least a cameo from one other villain next to Mole Man. Negatives, and this is me being super petty, but why was it Natasha Lyonne, Alicia Masters? It's right there. Just wasted potential. Like, come on. Right there. It was right there. Overall, I'm gonna get this a 10 out of 10. This was a fantastic movie. Click!
Say that again?
I don't really know where it ranks in my favorite MCU movies. Maybe top 10 at the least. I don't know. I need to sit with it a little bit and maybe see a second time to really form my opinion on it. Anyways, that'll be it for this video. If you're listening via my podcast, either on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave me a 5-star rating and a good review where you can. If you watch me on YouTube, the usual stuff of like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me in the comments, what did you think of Fantastic Four First Steps? Did you love it? Were you met on it? Did you hate it? What do you want to see in a follow-up movie? And should they stay in their own universe or should they join the MCU proper? And until next time, stay well, stay healthy, and stay fantastic.